What's up, guys? You're watching 4031 Kitchen. Today we're gonna get started on the first step of making these delicious mango habanero hot wings. It's football season, right? What does everybody like? Finger food. So we're gonna do this first step, but before we get started, I just want to let you guys know, like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have any suggestions or if you guys have any requests on anything that you want to learn how to make, go ahead and just put it in the comment area and I'll respond to you guys, and we'll see when we can get that done. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do here, guys, is I got this beautiful nice hot wings, or beautiful wings right here. I got a little bit of flats, a couple of drumsticks. So the first thing we're gonna do is get some buttermilk. I just go to the store, get my nice buttermilk, a small carton here, and we're just gonna add this to the wings. And you wanna let this sit at least 2 hours. Definitely overnight would be the best bet to do. I'm not gonna use the whole thing because tomorrow we're gonna make a homemade dipping sauce, blue cheese. So the first thing I like to do is get my peppercorns. I'll put a few in here, but you know, I like to use this molcajete here. Put a few in here, not too much. We're only doing about a dozen wings. We'll put some salt, sea salt, and I like to put some in here, so I'm gonna grind them down. It's gonna be delicious. Some coriander. If you've never used coriander before, or it sounds intimidating, don't be intimidated, guys. All it is a cilantro spice form, okay? If you love cilantro, you love coriander. And paprika, you can't forget the smoked paprika, okay? So we're gonna just grind this up. Don't be afraid, get in there. Grind it. And this is gonna be like just a rough little grind. We're not gonna have it in any food that we're cooking. This is just to let it marinate overnight. So you kinda wanna just do a little rough chop. Oh, voila, that's what you're looking for. Just to kind of open them up and get the aromas out and get the flavors out, and we're just gonna pour it in here. If you don't have a molcajete, I suggest that you get one. It comes in handy for anything that you're doing at home where you have to grind things up, salsas, stuff like that. Make a couple different kinds of paste. And one of my favorite spices to use is oregano. So I'm gonna put some oregano in here. One of my favorites. I love menudo. So what you're gonna do is just get your hands in here. Get dirty. Rotate everything. Try to get all the spices everywhere, touching all the different parts of the chicken. And what you're gonna do is, see how some are a little bit above the liquid? Just push them down. Push them down so that the liquid emerges to the top and the chicken goes down to the bottom, all right? There you go, right there. So we're gonna let this marinate in the refrigerator overnight. If you don't have that much time, a couple hours should do it. At least 2 hours, guys. Give it some time to penetrate. And tomorrow we'll be back and we're gonna fry these up with a nice mango habanero syrup that we're gonna make from scratch as well. We're gonna pair this with a beautiful blue cheese cilantro dressing. It's gonna taste so good. The freshness from the cilantro is gonna give a good balance to the spice of the habanero. So I can't wait to fry these up and taste them and show you guys how we're gonna do it. There you go. See you guys in a bit. All right, now we have these beautiful wings that we've been having marinating in this buttermilk for about 24 hours. Now it's time to prep them and get them all fried up. But first thing we gotta do is just strain them. I got my little strainer over here. And after you strain them from the buttermilk, this is what you wanna do. You wanna put them down on a little towel, some paper towels, whatever you have available to get them dry. You wanna get these as dry as possible, because when we put our dry seasoning on them, you don't want the seasoning to be clumping up. You want it to have a nice, even layer across all of your chicken wings, all right? We'll just pat them down a little bit, get them nice and dry. And what I like to do, I like to transfer them to this little cooling rack. It's got a little grate, so any excess water is gonna drip down. It's not gonna be sitting in a puddle of water. And it can dry really nice. And you can actually just leave these out because we're gonna fry these up. You want them to get to about room temperature. So leave them out on the counter for about a half an hour. And when you're ready to start frying, they're gonna be nice at room temperature. They're gonna cook evenly. It won't be cold at the inside and warm on the outside. You'll get a nice, even cook on them. All right, now we're gonna make this beautiful habanero mango wing sauce. You can either put it on top of your wings, toss them in, or you can put it on the side as a dipping sauce. It's up to you, but first we're gonna start off with 2 cloves of garlic, Bam, pull those in there. This is gonna be the kicker right here. We're gonna put 3 habaneros in there. I know that seems like a lot, but we're gonna balance out the spiciness with some sweet. So here we go. I was looking for some nice fresh mangoes, but I don't think they're in season right now because every time I went to go look, they're all hard and they just were unripe and they just weren't ready. And I didn't want to mess with those, so I got the next best thing. Some diced mangoes in a can. Hopefully this will work. Let's see what happens. We're just gonna pour it all in there with the syrup and everything, and then we're gonna put a little bit of this mango concentrate. You can find this at any store. Just put a little bit in there. This is gonna be more for color and the sweetness. There we go. And also, we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of white vinegar. I don't know why they call it white, but it's clear. A little bit of brown sugar. And of course, salt. You always want to add salt to your food. Salt is always going to bring out the flavors in anything that you cook and anything that you do. So let's get this blended up. There we go. So that's exactly what you're looking for. Nice consistency right there. All right, now that we got our mango habanero sauce blended, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come to the stove, put a little bit of vegetable oil, and we're going to add our, ooh, look at that. Beautiful consistency right there. It's almost like a smoothie texture. That's kind of like what you want. Nice. And we're gonna sweeten it up a little bit. So we're gonna put a little bit of maple syrup and some honey. Balance out all the spiciness from the habaneros. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna get, what do we use? A rubber spatula, right? Get your rubber spatula. These are the best friends to all your pots and pans. They keep them lasting long. It won't scratch them. Use a rubber spatula, not a metal spoon. So we're just gonna do this. Get it all mixed in. And we're gonna let it simmer for about a half an hour, right? Bring it down to a medium-low heat. And there you go. Just let it simmer for about a half an hour to 45 minutes. You'll see a consistency that you like. You don't want it running. This is what you want to see. Just like that. See how I get my spatula and there's not going down past that line? That's exactly what you want to see right there. Very tasty. So this is going to take about 30-45 minutes. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start adding our oil to our pot. Bam, I have this beautiful cast iron Dutch oven right here. If you don't have one of these and you love to cook, I suggest that you get one. These things are awesome. You can put them in the oven, you can put them on the grill, you can put them on top of the stove. You could do pretty much anything with these things. And if you get a cast iron, it's gonna last you forever as long as you take care of it. So what I like to fry with is either peanut oil or vegetable oil. Today we're using vegetable oil. So you want to get this up to about 350 degrees, all right? All right, now it's time to make our dipping sauce. This is gonna be a blue cheese cilantro dressing. We're gonna have equal parts of mayo and sour cream, about 3 tablespoons of each. So there's our sour cream. I'm not making that much because I'm only making about a dozen wings. If I were making more wings, I would definitely make a lot more sauce. We got that. This right here, some celery salt. Very good on a lot of different sauces. Granulated garlic. Gotta have a garlic flavor. The buttermilk. Remember the leftover buttermilk that we had from yesterday that we put on our wings? We're gonna use that today. Put a little bit in there, not too much. And we're gonna mix this up and then we're gonna see exactly if we need a little bit more, if we want it a little bit thicker, a little bit more waterier, however you say that. A little bit watered down, I guess. Now we're gonna add our blue cheese. You can go ahead and add the crumbles in. If you want them thick, you can throw them in there thick. If you want them more broken down, just rub your fingers through them and break them down a little bit. There you go. This is what's gonna make the blue cheese dressing pop for our wings. I like a lot of blue cheese, so I put a little bit extra. I love cilantro. I love cooking with cilantro. So if you want to learn how to, everybody probably knows how to do this. Just get your cilantro, kind of fold it, roll it up a little bit, and then you just get your knife and just run right through it. Not doing that much. Just gonna throw our cilantro just right in there. Boom. Just get a whisk and just whisk it up. Oh, that looks very beautiful. I love how the green is popping through the... excellent flavor. I don't want to do nothing to it. So now that we're waiting for our oils to get up to temperature and for us to fry our wings, I'm just gonna get this. I'm gonna throw it into the refrigerator and let it get nice and fresh. Let all the flavors mingle together. All right, guys. While our oil's coming up to 350 degrees, I just checked it, it's about 200, so we got a little bit of time. So let's do a little breakout time. Today's word of the day. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite passages, because a lot of times when we're going through our walk and we're living our life and we're going through everyday trials and everyday happiness and everyday, hard work, sometimes we can get a little lethargic, sometimes we can go dormant and fall asleep. But this particular passage always gives me hope, always wakes me up, and always helps me to keep going forward. And it says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." See, the words that stand out to me when I read that passage or when I'm saying that passage is the end where it says, "Do not give up." See, a lot of times we can get discouraged on the people around us. A long time ago when I first got saved, I put it on my mind that whenever I was at work, whenever I did something at work, whenever I did something at home, whenever I did something at church, or whenever I did something to help a neighbor, or whatever the circumstance may be, I always put it in my heart to do it for the Lord. Now, it's not always easy to do that, because a lot of times we do something for somebody and we want to hear that, "Oh, thank you," we want to be praised by them, right? And the Lord says, when you do it for me, your reward is going to wait for you in heaven. Don't worry about the praise that you're going to get here on earth, because that's all that's going to be your reward. If someone says thank you and I appreciate you, and if that's all you did it for, then there's your reward. But when we do good things, we want to stack our treasures in heaven so that when we get there, they're there waiting for us, and we have crowns and we can throw them at the feet of Jesus. Amen. So I just want to give you guys some encouragement, whether you have a ministry, whatever the circumstance may be. You've been praying for somebody, or you've been praying for people that are sick in the hospital, and you're like, "Man, it seems like my prayers are not being answered. It seems like it's not going anywhere." Don't be weary in doing good, for in due season you're going to reap a harvest. Don't give up. Be like Daniel. Daniel always prayed. He always prayed. He kept on praying. He prayed for 20 years. He prayed for the people. He never gave up. And he just kept on going. He never gave in. He never gave up. He never gave in. All right? So do your work unto the Lord. Don't grow weary in doing good. Don't worry about the people around you. Don't worry about what people say around you. Excuse me. You just continue to do what God has put upon your heart, all right? Continue to do good. Continue to do good. Don't give up, because in due season, you will reap a harvest of righteousness. Don't give up, guys. All right. That was the word of the day. All right, now that we took these off of the drying rack, we're gonna put a little bit of seasoning, not too much. Remember, on the brine, we put a lot of salt, we put a lot of pepper, so we're just gonna add just a little bit, just a little coat, all right? We'll put a little bit of Himalayan salt, a little bit of pepper. I love pepper, so I always add a lot of pepper to my food. And you can't forget this, that smoked paprika. There you go, just add a little bit. And God gave us these beautiful hands as tools that we can use. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Just get them in there, toss them here and there. And when we did that little buttermilk brine, buttermilk marinade, the buttermilk soak, all those flavors, man, they just penetrated all deep inside the meat, down to the bone, down to the marrow, just like the Word of God. When we read it right, it penetrates us down to the marrow. And that's exactly what's happening with the seasoning and the spices that we added to these beautiful wings here. Don't be afraid of your seasoning. I always say season high, cook high, which means cook fast. I love spices. Don't be afraid to add, okay? And the way you learn how to spice up your food is trial and error. Sometimes it's gonna come out excellent. Sometimes it's not gonna come out as good as you like, but you live and you learn and you understand for the next time. All right, our sauce is ready. Our oil's at 350. I want to show you guys the sauce here before we put the wings in. That's the consistency that you're looking for. If you can pick up your ladle and there's one stream that goes from your ladle, or I'm sorry, from your spatula to the sauce, that's what you want to look at. See that? That's what you want to see. That nice line right there. Boom. All right. Now just put our wings in the sauce. All right, guys. We've had these wings right here in the oil for about 15 minutes. Let's check one out. See what the temperature is. You can kind of notice they're starting to float to the top. That's when I kind of tell that they're gonna be ready soon. As soon as whatever you're frying starts floating to the top, that's when you know that it's on its way to be done. So I got the biggest one, and I'm just gonna stab it in there and see where this thermometer takes us. Remember, we want to hit 165. It's going up pretty fast. I think it's gonna hit it. 150, 160, and we're about there. And you got to understand, I pulled out the fattest one, and this one's already at 163, 160. Yeah, we hit 165 already, so we're ready to take these out. All right, the wings are done. They're ready to get dressed in that beautiful habanero mango sauce that we have. I have this platter out here. You can't go wrong without having some carrots, some celery. Those are my two favorite, nice fresh, to dip into that beautiful cilantro blue cheese dressing that we have. I put a little bit of the sauce on the side. I left a couple of them out that don't have any sauce. We're gonna leave these dry. And notice that I didn't put any flour. I don't like my wings coated with any flour or any breading. I like mine just straight fried with the skin. The skin right here kind of creates like a little chicharron, little texture, and that's what I like. But when you're making yours, the part when we were seasoning them, you can put a little bit of flour in there and bread them if you'd like. For me personally, this is the way I like them. You may like them a certain way that you do, but you know, run with it and do them exactly how you like them, okay? Now we got this beautiful sauce that we have here, and we're gonna just drench these wings in them. I put about, I don't know, a quarter cup right there, and the extra sauce that we have, we can save it for later. And this is all you're doing. Just, oh, you can smell that habanero. You can smell the sweetness. Oh, this is so good right here. Yeah, so what do you guys think? You guys go ahead and leave a comment, like it, subscribe it, guys. Pass it on to your friends if you like this recipe. Can't go wrong with wings. It's football season. Finger foods is what's in right now. And this is just a beautiful dish right here that we took the time to soak it in some blue cheese, in some buttermilk overnight. We put the different ingredients, the different flavors. We took the time and cut the celery, fresh carrots. We made a nice blue cheese cilantro dressing. We made a homemade habanero mango sauce. And man, this is just wholesome food for people who love to cook, who work hard. And this is it right here, guys. Just put a little bit of love into your work, and I promise you, you can't go wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and this is gonna be amazing. Just try one. Probably gonna burn my mouth, but it's all right. I didn't want to try. There we go. Let's see with the sauce. That's so good. The spiciness from the habanero, the sweetness from the mango, the cream that we have from this blue cheese dressing, everything's coming together excellent. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed what we cooked today. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Questions, comments, go ahead and leave them in the box down below. Thank you guys. In the description, I'm gonna have all the recipes for the sauce, for the blue cheese, for everything that we made. Thank you guys. God bless. Remember, you're the salt of the earth. See you guys next time.